Hello Janesville, and welcome to the Park Place Council Recap. I'm Assistant to the City Manager Faust, and joining me today is City Manager Kevin Lahner to help highlight some key items from the May 27th City Council meeting that we just wrapped up. Thanks for being here, Kevin.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so first I think we'll start with an important recognition the Council adopted tonight here, and that is to declare June 2025 as LGBTQ+ Pride Month. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think that's a really important resolution for the city. The folks that were here that accepted the resolution really had some positive things to say about how far Janesville has come in the area of acceptance, and especially in the area of promoting LGBTQ rights in our community. And I think it's important for city councils to do that sort of thing, to make Janesville a welcoming place for everyone. So I'm proud to support that resolution. I'm glad that the city council passed it unanimously tonight.
Yeah, great to hear, and always a significant step when the council affirms the city's commitment to being an inclusive community.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a statement just as far as the community goes overall, but also, for our organization as a whole. I think it's great that, folks know that we are an inclusive community here at the city as well.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful to hear. And then the second item, it was on the old business section of the agenda, but it was to approve something called Council Policy 88, which from what I understand is sort of a code of conduct policy. Could you fill us in a little more on that?
Yeah, so the code of conduct policy is something that a lot of city councils adopt, and it just kind of governs, how people should interact and conduct debate and that sort of thing, and kind of perform their duties as a city council member and then also as a committee member. And so we've had this policy on the books for a while. This was an update and a revision to that policy. But really it says some very basic things about, being a council member, not accepting gifts, making sure that you're prepared for meetings, and those sorts of things is really what it's about. And so tonight there was a little bit of a discussion about whether or not we should have some restrictions on attendance of remote meetings, attending meetings remotely. And the council ultimately decided not to include those restrictions this evening. And so really it's just a refresh of that policy. And that was the main topic of discussion tonight.
Yeah, and so in effect, sort of them as a body setting the ground rules for what is healthy, code of conduct for them to have, for other boards, committees, and commissions can have, and certainly not an issue by any stretch here in the city, but I'm sure over your tenure as a city manager, you can probably attest to the importance of having elected officials and boards sort of set standards for themselves.
Yeah, and so, boards, committee, commission members are human beings, and they all have different backgrounds, different ways of interacting, and over the course of time, in my experience, there's been some behavior that is not acceptable from those sorts of board members. And so this just really provides a framework for if the city council is faced with those issues, what to do about it. And thankfully, we have not had major issues here at the city of Janesville, at least in recent memory.
Yes.
But sometimes folks just do things that are not appropriate as a public official, and this really just lays the groundwork for what's expected and then what happens if you don't abide by those ground rules.
Yeah. So a really important and great piece of housekeeping to sort of level set for folks. And well, I certainly appreciate you being here, Kevin. That about wraps up our recap of the May 27th City Council meeting, and appreciate your time.
Yeah, no worries. I was glad to be here. Perhaps next time we'll have an even lengthier agenda to have a longer discussion.
Thanks, Nick. Well, certainly in June we'll move ahead and maybe have some other things to talk about. But thank you, folks, for tuning in. As always, to see more about this meeting's agenda items or any of the past meetings, other boards, committees, and commissions, I want to encourage you to go to janesvillewi.gov/materials. Until next time, thanks for watching.